Westerville City Schools. It's second semester. We're getting started here with a lot of new projects and new ideas. And I wanted to take a second to show you one of the tools that we have available called Google Read and Write. Some people have been messing with this. We've had it for a while now. The district actually pays for this extension, and every staff member and student has access to this when they sign into the Chrome browser. If you look up here in the top row of my computer here, I've got a list of all my extensions. If I find this purple puzzle piece right here that has the RW in it and I click on that, that is Google Read and Write. And what it does is it offers a bunch of tools that you can use when you are searching the web and doing some research. When this tool was first introduced to us, I think a lot of people saw it as a screen reader, which is definitely helpful in some situations. But I have seen this be used in many classes where even the higher level advanced courses for kids who are gathering research that they're using for projects and papers that they're writing. So I wanted to take a few minutes just to kind of walk you through some of the features that I think may not be fully utilized and something that can help out in your classroom. So if I go over here to this dinosaur webpage, and I've got Google Read and Write turned on, a couple of things that can help me as I'm reading through this. Dinosaurs are one of the most successful groups of animals in terms of longevity. If I don't know what that term longevity means and I highlight that, I can come up here and I've got a dictionary. I can click that dictionary and that will allow me to get Google's definition of any individual word that I highlight. That will help me as I'm reading independently from having to stop every time I hit something that I don't fully understand. It's a nice feature that kids can use just so they can keep reading on their own when they stumble across a word they're not sure of. Some words have picture dictionaries. So if I get to this evolved and I click on this icon right here, the picture dictionary, that's something. It's not going to be as extensive as the regular dictionary, but it does have some images that will pop up that will help me as a student or a lower reader try to identify what some of these words are in context. It gives me an image that I can use. And so as I'm reading through these, I'm not going to do it on here, but I can hit play and I can listen to it read out loud. If I do hover speech, that'll go over top of a certain word, and wherever I hover the mouse, that is where you'll be able to hear it start reading from. As I get down here, a few of these things that kind of help out my readers. If I've got a screen mask, some people, when you have a book in front of you, you can put your finger on the book and kind of help yourself follow along. This just allows me as I'm reading to kind of focus my attention on a very specific part of the text. And that is something that for some kids it really helps, for other kids it doesn't. And that is something that you can mess with, and if it helps you, it's available to you. We've got a couple things in here. The talk to text, if I go to a blank Google document and I've got some things that I'm writing, if I click this microphone, talk and type, if I'm talking about dinosaurs, if I've got someone who's struggling with typing all of these words, I click this button, I allow it to use my microphone, and at that point, anything that I say will be used and typed into the text so that I don't have to do the physical typing myself. This is a nice feature, especially for kids that want to try and get an idea out, that are having a hard time physically putting it, typing it in the computer with their fingers, or if they're low typers. We've got some programs that will help you with typing if you want to use those. But this is just a feature that will work really well. It does a pretty good job if you're by yourself. Obviously, in a classroom with 30 kids all talking at the same time, it may be difficult for the microphone to pick up on some of these things. If I go back here to this website, I've got all sorts of information. I can do a lot of cool things here. This is a good website it's got some just basic text. But sometimes there's good information, but there are websites that are out there that are a little more for profit. There's good information on them, but it's got a bunch of links to other stuff for a magazine. This is a Smithsonian, which is quality stuff, but there's a lot of things here. Here's an advertisement for a coupon. There's a bunch of images. Here's a bunch of things on the side for other articles. A lot of things that distract. And if I want to remove these distractions, if I come up here to Google Read and Write, and I come all the way over here to this Simplify page, if I click that button, what it's going to do is it's going to open up this article in a new document, and it's going to remove all of the distracting features. So what it does is it just simply gives me the text. All of the text from that article is now available. It's all here, but there's no ads, there's no pictures, there's no videos, there's no images. If I want, I can simplify the page. I always tell my kids to be careful because this is what Google thinks it can remove to make it a little bit easier to read. But as I hit this negative button, it makes this shorter and shorter. So if I want to get the gist of what this article is about, I can keep clicking that, If I want to go back and see what other things have been removed, I can add that. Again, that's a feature that can help, but just be careful if there's specific things you want to see out of a text. As I get into some research and I find these things, I want to be able to highlight some stuff. And I've got highlighter tools right here. These are really, really helpful, especially for the higher level kids that are doing research and they're trying to collect the information. So rather than retyping or copying and pasting, I can highlight whatever I want. I can make this a yellow highlight. I can make these highlights whatever I feel necessary. So if I think, all the yellow ones are facts and all the green ones are opinions, or if they're all about certain dates or certain times or issues, I can highlight all sorts of different things here. I can go back and highlight different stuff with different colors. The really, really nice feature of all of this is when I'm done, I've got lots of different highlights from an article that I was reading. If I click this colorful wheel that is collecting the highlights, what this is going to do is it's going to take all of those things that I highlighted. I can decide, do I want to keep them in order of color or do I want to make them in position? So if I want to keep them in order of the article or if I want to collect all the similar colors, it totally doesn't matter. It's up to you however you want to do it. What it's going to do is it's going to take just the highlighted things. Google is now going to create a new Google document, taking all the information I pulled from that article. It's going to take it and put it into a new Google document with all of the highlighted text. It's going to give me a link back to the original article. So all of those kids that are always surprised that they have to do a bibliography at the end of the paper or at the end of the assignment, and they didn't know that they had to do that. If they do this, if they click on that, it'll take them right back to the original article that they were pulling that information from, so they can get all of the bibliography information that they're interested in. And so this tool, Google Read and Write, has a lot of features that I think people are just not fully aware of. I think a lot of people, when they first started playing with it, it reads things out loud and it's kind of cute. But actually, there's a lot of tools that a lot of individual kids can really benefit from. Like I said, everything from high school research projects, collecting all your information from an article that you're going to later then use for notes to include in your paper, to finding definitions and pictures of things, to masking the screen so that I can focus my attention, to talking and having it typed for me. There's a lot of things in here that I think is worth taking a look at. So if you haven't had a chance, mess around with Google Read and Write. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to your ed tech coaches. We are happy to come in and help you or your students or your staff or whomever see what are the benefits of this program are. Thanks a lot. Have a wonderful second semester.